This summer, in sports, the 2020 Summer Olympics were finally held in Tokyo. These Olympics were shrouded in COVID-19 concern, which limited the number of people that were allowed to be in Tokyo for the Olympics. However, the Olympics saw 2 weeks of competition in 33 sports across 46 disciplines in 43 venues for a total of 339 medal events. These United States of America took home the most medals at 113 and the most gold medals with a total count of 39, besting China by just one gold medal. This included a gold medal in basketball, which I'm sure has Aaron feeling some kind of way. U.S. athlete Simone Biles, who in 2019 became the first U.S. female artistic gymnast and the second female artistic gymnast from any nation to win 5 gold medals at a single edition of the World Championships. She sparked a media frenzy when she began to withdraw from events. Biles had a recent death in her family that understandably affected her. In baseball, Shohei Ohtani led the American League to its 8th consecutive All-Star Game victory. The trade deadline saw a fire sale from the Chicago Cubs and Washington Nationals. Most notably, Max Scherzer, was traded from the Nats to the Dodgers, and Anthony Rizzo was traded from the Cubs to the Yankees. The Field of Dreams game was held in early August in Iowa between the Chicago White Sox and the New York Yankees. Fortunately, the Chicago White Sox won on a walk-off home run by Tim Anderson. In the NFL, training camp has begun, as well as the preseason. Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, and J.J. Watt all eventually showed up to training camp, although their futures beyond the season still remains wildly unclear. And in the NBA, although the finals saw a 6-game tilt, the Milwaukee Bucks beat the Phoenix Suns and became NBA Finals champions for the second time in their franchise history. This is the Under.500 podcast.
All right, we are finally back for season 3 of the Under.500 podcast. As usual, I'm Tyler, and I'm joined by my lovely 2 friends, Eric and Aaron. Eric, let's hear a little bit of something about your summer. How was it?
My summer's been pretty good. I went to Ohio, got to visit a couple friends out there. That was super cool. Saw our boy Jacob.
You went to Ohio on purpose?
Yes, I did. It's
Wow.
shocking, I know.
Wow.
My wife's like, we've been doing like a birthday like trips. So Michelle wanted to go to Moosehead. We went to Moosehead for her birthday, which is like 9 hours away at the top of Maine to look for a moose, and we saw one.
Nice.
The butt of
Oh,
one,
you actually
really.
saw a moose.
Yeah.
Is that the first time
like
you've
the
seen
butt of
one
one.
live?
Did you shoot it
in the
kill
wild?
It, and ate it?
No, we did not do that.
Dude, how big are those things?
Well, I can tell you that there are way too many accounts of moose hitting cars and it not ending well. Like,
yeah,
cars
moose
can almost
wins.
drive. Yeah, the car can almost drive under the moose. Like, they're huge.
They're like freaking dinosaurs, man. That's crazy.
Dinosaur would be the word I'd use there, but be like alligator, dinosaur, moose, like woolly mammoth, maybe. Like, you know.
All right, you're right. Okay, no, I get it. You just make fun of me. I'm an idiot. No worries.
No, you just live under a rock. It's okay.
That's true. I don't know what's going on in the world.
We love you, Aaron. But no, I went to Ohio, and then I went to Cape Cod. So
Much
that was
better.
cool.
Wow.
Saw a couple friends there. Got to go to Wellfleet, which is my favorite place on earth. Got to show Ben the flats of Lieutenant's Island.
Wait, when
which
did
is
you go to
epic.
Cape Cod?
Like 2 or 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, and then ended it at training camp. Went to the Pats training camp.
Oh,
And
Man, and of course I don't live out there anymore because Gillette. I used to live 10 minutes down the road from the Gillette.
my brother lives like 15 minutes from Gillette, 20 minutes, something like that.
Oh,
in
Oh yeah, it was so
Attleboro.
nice. I miss being close to that in Patriot Place.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
dude.
nice.
Patriot
We were
Place is
literally
amazing.
just gonna go to Cabela's, or not Cabela's, Bass Pro. So I had like $75 to Bass Pro, and then
Dude.
it dawned on me like, oh, there's training camp here, and it's the first padded practice. So
Yep.
we got to see that. Teddy Bruschi was there. We saw the crafts and obviously all the personnel. So
Did you meet anybody?
no, didn't meet anybody. I think the COVID restrictions and all that, like there wasn't any
Oh,
meet and
good
greet
point.
kind of signature stuff. But I mean, it
point.
was still cool. Sit on the grass for free and watch, Patriots.
Watch
No,
Cam
it
Newton
is.
be bad.
It's one of the coolest things they do. Like it's free. You can go in there to see the guys practice and stuff. I know in the past when I was a kid, they used to have like things set up for like kids to go to and
They
stuff.
still
I don't
do.
know if okay, I didn't know if like with COVID they didn't have that or anything, but
Not
that's
as
good they
many
still do
things as
that.
I wanted, but like Ben had fun.
Yeah. And Ben doesn't. He's as long as there's like one thing to do, he's gonna be good.
Other than that, Tyler, I've just been working a ton of hours
Nice.
at my job. The person who works the most hours over the summer. Not that I'm really trying to. I just need the overtime. Wins like a $500 gift card to Best Buy. So,
Hey,
There you
not
go.
a bad deal.
hey,
Wow.
$500?
500 smackers. Yeah, to
That's
Get
Best Buy.
yourself a nice 240 hertz monitor.
It's a monitor. It's an Apple Watch. It's like I could actually get something nice with that. Not to
Wow,
mention all the overtime.
You could, yeah. Oh man, look at that.
Titled "Children." That's what the overtime
Tyler's thinking
title.
graphics card right now.
For $500, don't think so.
You
That
want
would
to?
buy
Yeah, you're a higher
that
end.
would buy like a quarter of a graphics card right now.
I just want to say all this, and I probably had the most boring summer out of the three of us.
No, I don't think so. Aaron,
Well, how was yours?
How was your summer?
Oh, well, I moved.
Yeah, I think Aaron's is
So-
probably the most exhilarating.
So that was really tumultuous. Yeah, we had especially we had to get movers to go from like out in North Attleboro out to here because there's no way we were going to be able to do multiple trips when it's like an hour and a half away. But like I remember we got movers and so they show up to my house and they knock on the door and I go out there and like as soon as I open the door to like meet them, like it just reeked of weed. And like all three of the dudes are like giggling and stuff like that. And I'm like, yo, are you serious? Like you're about to drive my stuff across the state? And
Why didn't you just rent like a U-Haul?
they were a hot so if I rented a U-Haul, it would have had to been like a really big one. Because before when we moved, it was like 5 minutes away. I could get a small one. It was really cheap. We could just do multiple trips. This, I mean, it's an hour and a half. I'm not doing multiple trips. And we moved in a weekday, so we had no one to help us move. It literally was just me and Juliana, and we have
Rough.
2 kids.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that would have happened.
Yeah, I
'cause
got
it was yeah, it was while people are at work and stuff. So we're like, I had to bite the bullet and get movers. But yeah, dude, they were high as a kite.
So you had some of the South Shore's finest help move you.
Yeah, I was like, it reeked of weed. It was so bad. But yeah, we
Did they
moved.
at least offer you any, or
They did not. No, they were a little greedy.
What? Wow.
They were cool guys though. They were cool. But yeah, we moved in, got our whole place set up now. Yeah, kind of transitioning and stuff. New church, getting to know people there. New job. I worked at Southern New Hampshire University for 3 weeks and quit.
so you
'Cause I
don't
got
work
a
at
better-
Hartford, right?
Huh?
You didn't end up getting that job in Hartford, right?
No, dude. I don't want to take too much time on this because it's a sports podcast. But so when I was living out in North Attleboro and was first trying to get out here, I applied for a director position of the gym. And they said, hey, like, we love you. Like, you got great credentials, you got experience, but you're living out there. We need you closer. When you move out here, let us know. So I moved out here and then resubmitted an application. He's like, oh, wait, are you like in the area? I'm like, yeah, I am. He's like, awesome. So they set me up with an interview. The interview went really well.
Oh, you told
and
us
then
about
all of a sudden,
this.
yeah, I get an email and they're like, hey, yeah, so you're still too far away from our other locations. So, if you ever move closer, let us know. And I'm like, what do you mean? I just moved
Springfield to Hartford?
Well, so I was like,
What?
you said it was a Springfield location, right? I'm like, I'm 20 minutes from Springfield right now. Like 20 minutes.
Where do you live?
Because they so I'm in South Hadley, but they said there was a place in
Oh, that's right. You
Springfield.
told me that.
And I was like, dude, Springfield's 20 minutes away. Like, what do you mean? It's within that half hour. They're like, oh yeah, no, we don't have a Springfield location. It's all Southern Connecticut. So yeah, you don't get it. I was like,
Oof.
what the freak, man? Are you serious? I was pretty pissed about that. But this new job worked out. So I'll start
South
that
Hadley's
next
known
week.
for the McCrae's farm and their Halloween stuff.
Oh, really? We've gone to
the-
a couple of local farms for like produce out here. It's pretty good.
Yeah, McCrae's
Ooh.
farm has it's known for its haunted hayride or something.
Oh,
like
well,
that.
I will not be attending
Oh,
that.
Yeah,
come
we
on,
know.
I
that.
can't
No,
wait.
that-
I can't wait for that season, man.
No, all of that can kick rocks. Everything's scary. I nope.
Yo, I use that phrase around my wife, and she's like, I'm gonna start calling you Andy Griffith if you start using that phrase more often. I said, kick rocks. I hear that all the time. She's like,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
a very common phrase.
that's what old people say. I said, I mean, you're not really insulting me by calling me Andy Griffith, so I don't really care.
It's like that's a very common phrase. I don't.
Kick rocks, yeah.
Yeah, kick rocks.
People
man.
say that
It's
all the
way
time.
better than alternatives that I could say. So
Well, especially
the
to your
things that-
wife, yeah.
the
Kick
things that I
ball.
think, and then the thing. Tyler, what was your summer like, bro? Besides working like a maniac.
That's what I did. I worked.
And a
I worked.
promotion.
Yeah,
How's-
a
how's the-
promotion. Guess how much money I made last week per hour? Promotion.
This is gonna be sad.
$8.75 an hour.
How many
Yep.
hours did you work?
60.
Yeah, so the more hours you work his salary, the less it's worth, right?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
How's the puppy?
That's a great job. She's huge. The one highlight of my summer was my mom came and surprise visited me
Really?
for a week. Yeah, it was really nice. It was
Just your mom or your mom?
No, it was just
Look at you,
my
Deborah.
mom. It was just my mom, and she came in. It was I don't know. It was last month, like after 4th of July, and it was like one of those days where I like hadn't hired anybody yet, and I was still working alone every day from 7:30 to 6.
Ugh.
And I was like walking in the door, and I was just like, I was so depressed, and I was literally walking up to my house like so tired.
I know that. Yeah.
And overworked, and I was just like,
When you
so
don't listen to the radio on the way home because you're
Yeah,
so zapped.
Well, I mean, my commute is literally a minute and a half, but
Oh.
yeah, and I was like walking up, and I was pulling in the trash barrel with me because it was on the curb still, and like I walked in the door, and Sarah's like standing up in front of the door, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" And then I go, she has her phone in her hand, and I look over on our kitchen table, and there's a phone on the table, and I was like, "Whose phone?"
Is there a
that?"
man in my house?
No, that's actually. I trust my wife enough to that didn't pop into my head. I was like, "Whose phone is that?" And I almost, as soon as I said it out loud, my mom like pops around the corner, and I like, oh,
Sure, 'cause
dude,
you were scared.
I almost dropped to the floor. I was just like, oh, it was just like one of those like relief moments of like, you know, like I just missed home a lot, and
Oh,
Are you a
Yes.
mama's boy? It's okay.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
I like both of my parents a lot, so I don't know.
how awkward would it have been if like you walked through the door not knowing your mom's there, and you're just like, Sarah, where's the sandwich?
Or something worse.
Yeah, right.
You wouldn't believe the day
yeah, which is
Of course, if
usually
your
what
mother-
it is.
If your mother's anything like my mother, she would have just started bursting out laughing.
Yeah. So that was really, really cool that she came and visited me. It was just like one of those, like, it was a reset for me, you know, just because
That's good.
I miss home so much. And then both of them are coming next month, about a month from today.
Nice.
So yeah, other than that, my summer has been very boring, and it has been consistently like 100 to 105 every single day.
Yeah, it's been hot. And it's probably worse down there too, isn't it? It's muggy. Nice
well, out here,
Midwest
it's
sticky
kind of
heat.
dry.
Oh, really?
It's kind of dry because we don't get any rain. Like living in the desert out here.
It's been nasty in New York. It was 105 degrees on Friday. And it was like humid and gross. I looked at one line I needed to replace and said, "No, I'll wait till next week." Rescheduled it. Said,
Yeah.
"We need to come back." It was like 900 hornets on the side of the house too, and I didn't feel like getting like heat exhaustion and stung all at
Yeah.
once. So I said, "Yeah, I'll come back with my supervisor next week. We'll get this done."
There you go.
You want to talk some sports?
Yeah.
'Cause
So
we'll,
I love this is a sports podcast. I forgot.
Is it?
I thought it was
Been
just
so long,
three guys shooting the crap.
Well, tomato,
That's
tomato.
Yeah, right. And it sounds like our planning process. So
So
yeah, guys, just so you know, we don't just log on, ask what's going on, and then do this, right? We do have a plan. I swear.
Sometimes.
as I add something. So let's
yeah,
start.
as Eric types in the notes right now.
Let's start with the Olympics because that's like I don't know the biggest thing that probably happened internationally over the summer was the Olympics, but it's probably the thing I followed admittedly the least.
Well, apparently
So-
the whole world did. You see the ratings?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were
Had
horrible.
The lowest all time by like it wasn't even close.
So let me segue in with this conversation. And Aaron, I think you'd probably understand this one, and Tyler, obviously you will too. But like Aaron being the basketball guy, like it was pretty obvious that the American stars that went to um, the basketball competition for the Olympics really didn't seem to care that much about it, or at least the impression was that they didn't care initially.
Well, they
They ended up
lost
winning.
their exhibition games, and they
Yeah.
lost their opening like actual competitive game too.
But then they ended up winning the whole thing, right? But
Right.
do you think that's a pretty accurate reflection about how Americans feel about the Olympics? Like, all right, do you think that the basketball stars and how much we follow basketball as Americans, and then like, I don't know, the basketball stars are kind of like, oh yeah, the Olympics. I guess when we get there, maybe we'll try. I feel like that's how, at least how I followed it was like, oh yeah, it's here. I guess I'll kind of follow it. I don't know. Like I followed the headlines. That's about it.
That's all. The only thing I ever checked was the basketball scores, and I don't know what happened in the beginning when they lost the exhibition games and then the opening game for the first round. I was kind of like, dude, what the heck? But you kind of got the vibe that the players are just like, I mean, whatever. This is nothing compared to the NBA. Like for
Yeah.
those guys, because I heard a lot of people saying, oh, so many, like especially on social media, it's like, oh, these guys don't care about their country. There's no pride. It's like these guys, they play in the NBA, which is the top of the top league in the world, and they get paid millions of dollars to do that. To them, the Olympics is like it's like an AAU tournament. Like it's like kind of like a downgrade for them. Like, of course, they're not going to take it as seriously. I do
It is
think
prestigious to have a gold medal, right? Like I feel like there is a prestigiousness to saying I'm not only an NBA champion and an all-star champion and an MVP, but I'm also like I'm Olympic champion. Like that's
is it an
in that
achievement? Yes.
echelon of
I
achievements, right?
I guarantee you ask every single player on that team what would they rather have, a gold medal or an NBA championship? All of them are saying
Oh no
NBA
no no no!
championship. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same echelon, but definitely, you know, MVP and NBA Finals champion are the things you want. Like, you know,
Right.
I feel like that for any sport. You know, yeah, I won an Olympic
Yeah, I
medal,
mean, like,
but
it's obviously a
never won a
fantastic
championship in my
achievement.
sport. Yeah.
Right. And I think KD has 3 now. I think he has 3 golds now. Um I part of it too was I know there was like when they were doing the preliminary games, the exhibition games, there were still some players on Team USA who weren't there because the finals were still going on. And there were some players on the Bucks and on the Suns that were waiting to go in. And then they literally it was after the finals they flew right over there. So within 18 hours, they were on those teams playing. So they had a
Oh wow.
practice with the team. It was like Devin Booker, Drew Holiday, and then I think Middleton. So they had 3 players join the team who didn't practice with the team at all, and they just got off the plane, and then they had to play their first game. So you're
Well,
gonna be a little rusty initially.
yeah. What do you think of the rest of the Olympics, Tyler? Did you have any thoughts about? You know, there was obviously the Simone Biles
Um
controversy.
yeah, I watched 0 minutes and 0 seconds of the Olympics.
Same.
My wife was super into it, so
I
I caught
read
like a couple things.
I read headlines and I listened to people argue and I formulated no opinion.
I watched a really cool video on the logistics because this is the nerd that I am. I don't care about the actual Olympics, but I'll watch a 25-minute YouTube video about the logistics of it. Like the logistics that go into this, as far as they have to determine what facilities that are existing in like a city like Tokyo, which is the biggest city in the world, right? So there's a lot of facilities. So which facilities will work and which facilities will not work, and which facilities they need to build and which things they need to like put close to villages and which things they, and there's like rules for how far away each like Olympic village needs to be from the events. So
Mm-hmm.
like one of the biggest problems that most Olympics have is finding a Olympic pool. That's like one of the it's obviously one of the biggest venues for an Olympic sport, but who thinks, oh yeah, you know, I got a pool 2 miles up the road that's Olympic ready. Like no one thinks that even in a
Right.
major city. So I think actually in Brazil they built like a temporary one because they knew that, you know,
They did.
after the Olympics, it's such a disaster for most of these areas. Like I think in Italy, it's like literally a ghost town where, um,
Yeah, they
uh,
put billions of dollars into this massive infrastructure for like a month, and then it's
Yeah,
just
but
oh,
it pays itself off.
but I do know that there are other countries. Australia turned their whole Olympic Village into like a community. So like they purposely built it close enough to where people could work so that they can move in conceivably into those houses and make a revenue and an income and not
Oh, that's good.
have it like a ghost town. But Italy didn't do that. Brazil didn't do that. But anyways, those are the logistics. Beyond that, I thought the Biles thing was interesting because obviously, like what did they say that she had? Was it like the twists or something?
The
It's like a
twisties,
that's what which I thought
twisties,
was a
right?
made up words, but it's like the yips in baseball. Like
Right. Yeah,
it's a
that is what it
psych
is.
thing, and it psychs you out, and you literally can't keep balance on the balance beam.
Right. Yeah, she had it on a flip in one of their like preliminary rounds. I guess like she landed weird and it just messed with her psychologically. So then after that she just whenever she would do a jump, she just didn't feel right. And then she got nervous about getting hurt because of that. I guess
She had like a
that's what they
family
said
death
happened.
too. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
there
there's a
was a
lot of
whole
things that
bunch
went
of
into that.
stuff going on.
Yeah.
And that sparked I was surprised at how much controversy that sparked.
I
It
don't
was like,
understand.
good lord. It's like okay, she was going through something, she had a death in the family. Um she was got the yips essentially, was scared she'd get hurt, and she decides to step back, and then all of a sudden, man, the internet's great for this, just started opening up and like, how dare she do this? She took a spot from someone who would actually be willing to compete. She's soft, yada yada. I can't believe this. Where's the Mamba mentality? It was like, what what did she do to you? like leave this girl alone, man. Goodness,
All
if she
the-
doesn't feel like
What
she
did
can
she
do this,
to you? Yeah, that's a good
all
point.
these
What did
people
she do
saying
to
that
you?
she's a wimp and she's afraid or sitting in their
like,
parents'
but you get
basement
on there. I'm like,
wearing
yeah,
wearing double masks in front of their air filter, afraid that something might leak in.
she's so soft, but you're too scared to leave at your house. Like, goodness, like, shut up, man. Like, I just don't understand why they got so mad at her. Like, she personally offended them in the United States. It's like,
Well,
what?
she did. She represented the United States. You should know that.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. It gets me angry thinking about
Yeah,
it.
because you're about to get me started talking about the U.S. women's soccer team.
No, let's please not do that one.
Oh my gosh, you know why they lost, right? Because they kneeled.
Oh my gosh, our great country's flag was disrespected.
So it's God's judgment that they didn't win
I
because
saw
they
that and thought to
kneeled.
myself, oh gosh, this
Or
is why we're.
or Canada just has a really good team. Like,
You know
why
what
are
I
we gonna
will
take it away
say?
from Canada? Like,
I will say, don't you wish? I'm glad sports people have their platform, and I think for some things, like I'm glad that they use it. Obviously, it wasn't it Michael Jordan that famously said Republicans can buy shoes too. Like he really didn't care about
he
his
was all
platform.
about the money.
He was all about
like,
the money.
who's
Like
gonna pay?
I think it's probably too far the other direction, but wouldn't it be nice if we could just one way or the other, not making a political statement one way or the other. Just what if they just played and lost, and we just talked about the breakdown of how they lost. But
Thank you.
instead, we get lost in and part of that just being honest, part of that's on them for using the platform. By using the platform, they open themselves up to that criticism. So that's part of the problem. But the other part
Sure.
of the problem is people don't know how to like people just go crazy. Like they just
Yeah, it's
they,
like
they
you realize
focus
that
on
has
that rather
yeah,
than
that has
no,
nothing to
they
do with your
lost.
performance. It's like that
Like
it doesn't.
it's if you kneel during the American flag, it's superstitious and the great Lady Liberty will make you lose. Like, come on. Like let
Yeah, it's like,
Canada have their
really?
and then it also robs Canada who
It
Tell me-
does. It
tell me-
what are
absolutely
they-
robs
Tell me,
Canada.
more, tell me more about the pagan false idols you worship.
Christian nationalism has entered the chat. All right, so on that note, let's keep moving before we really get ourselves in trouble with
The Under 500 political podcast.
with the political stuff. Tyler, do you see that David Krejci announced that he's leaving the Bruins? That's one of the
Yeah.
big things that happened over the summer.
Yeah.
Can I read you his statement? So this is
Yeah.
a part of the statement. He says, "Since the end of the season, I have thought about my future. It has become clear that I need to make a difficult decision for my family and I. At this point in my career and life, I need to return to the Czech Republic and play in front of my family, who sacrificed so much to help me achieve my NHL dreams. I want to play in front of my parents, brother and friends. I want my children to live where I grew up, spend time with so many Czech family members who love them, and create lifelong memories. So for now, I want to thank all the Bruins fans for their support they have shown me and my family over the last 14 years. I will forever be thankful. This is not goodbye. I will not be a stranger. I will be a Bruin forever. I will see you at the TD Garden soon, and I will always bleed black and gold. Interesting statement, don't you think?
No. Why?
Where did he say he's retiring?
Well, he didn't. He's going to play in front of his family.
Right. So he didn't retire.
No.
So wait, what league is he going to?
So do you think he'll be back?
The Czech league. As a player, probably not.
What if their playoff chances are pretty good and they just need one more guy?
Oh, are we putting the tinfoil hat on?
That's the rumor.
Well, it sounds like he's not going to be here this year.
What if he comes back in April?
It sounds like in that he's not coming back.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's coming
Sounds
back.
like it sounds like he's moving.
I have heard that it theorized that the way he worded that was very clear that he might be back and that he might come back for a playoff run. Which in hockey you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he says at this point in my career in life, I need to return to the Czech Republic.
Okay, so he moves back, right? Puts the kids in
okay,
school.
yeah, no, I get what you're saying because you have a good point because
but he comes back in April and he's leaves for 3 months.
Yeah, he's gone for 3 months, then goes back to his family with a cup, maybe.
Possible, right?
Yeah.
But he mentioned he wants to play in front of his family.
But he also said that we will see him at TD Garden. What do you do? Just gonna come visit and drop the puck? Like,
I
why
will
would you
see you at
be
the
that
TD
cryptic?
Garden soon.
I will forever be a Bruin. This is not goodbye.
It is cryptic.
It is a little cryptic, don't you think?
Yeah.
But it sounds like he's trying to get in a league out in the Czech. What doesn't
Well,
that league?
He can leave that league for 3 months and play
What
the
if that
Stanley
league?
Cup Finals.
What if that league ends in January?
That's true. I guess we'd have to look at like when their season is, because that could work.
This is an interesting little theory I heard that I thought was interesting.
Oh, that'd be cool.
When did he say this?
Like
this was last month.
Over. Yeah, I thought late June is when he's early July. Right around that time, they actually the Bruins have made some moves. I think they signed Taylor Hall.
Good.
And Jeremy Lauzon was left open in the expansion draft and ended up with Seattle.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I saw Seattle was bragging on social media that they have now the Seattle Kraken are the new NHL team and they have never played a single game yet. Like they're new this year. They have more people following them on social media than the New York Islanders, which have been around since like 1979 or something.
Holy crap! Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. New York Islanders are an expansion team that won like 4 cups in a row or something ridiculous in the 80s and have sucked ever since.
Yeah.
If you're from New York, most New York people I know are Rangers fans. Like, I guess if you live on Long Island, you might be an Islander fan. But
there's a lot of Jersey guys that are Islanders fans too.
That's interesting because they have the New Jersey Devils.
Yeah, I know. Like I used to play music, and the shows we'd go to, we'd have a lot of New Jersey bands come in, and they were all Islanders fans. No,
interesting.
Rangers. Sorry, Rangers. Whatever it was.
Yeah, which one are you talking about? Because those are 2 different teams.
They're one of the New York teams. I think Rangers.
Oh, so Rangers. Rangers are one of the original 6 teams. They are the New York team. They're like the Yankees, or they've just been one of those teams that's been around forever.
I'm second guessing myself. Anyways, they weren't Devils fans, which I think is funny because they're from New Jersey.
And the Devils have won recently, like within the past 20 years, 20, 30 years since we've been alive. So that was your hockey segment. Not much to talk about with hockey right now, other than the expansion draft happened in the Seattle Kraken, which, by the way, great name, great logo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
awesome.
seriously.
Like the Seattle Kraken and the Vegas Golden Knights, like talk about 2 teams that are just like the NHL is almost GOAT with how they've designed like their logos and their like the Golden Knights have like an arena that's like castle themed. Like these are things that if you're in Vegas and you're just going to catch like a game because you're in Vegas, wouldn't you want to go to that? Like that would be something cool to go to.
Watch a good team too, because they're a great team, and they have been since they started.
Putting teams in Vegas was a genius idea because you're gonna have people that live there because there's a lot of people live there that actually follow the team, and then just being in Vegas and hey, do you want to go catch a Raiders game? Like, heck yeah, I want to go
Yeah.
catch a Raiders game. Like,
Yeah.
there's just a brilliant idea.
Yep. No, it's super smart. I'd love to go out to see like
Or Oakland.
a
Or if like
Golden Knights game.
if the Patriots played in Vegas, don't you think there'd be a lot of Patriots fans that'd be like, oh, we can go to Vegas and catch a Patriots game? Like,
Yeah.
they
That's
totally
like
figured that out.
That's like the ultimate vacation.
Yeah, it's up there
For like for a fan,
for people.
If you're a
Yeah.
fan of a team, you could get to go to Vegas and you get to watch your team play.
Pretty sure Patriot fans
yeah,
would
that's-
riot though if they moved out there. You kidding me?
No, like they played the Raiders in Vegas.
Oh, I
So
thought
rather
you
than
meant,
watch
like,
a
they
game at
moved.
Foxborough,
No.
because you can't afford a ticket, you'd probably cheaper to buy a plane ticket, gamble $100, and then buy a Raiders ticket than it would be to get into Foxborough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Foxborough tickets are stupid high.
Well,
Well, if they keep sucking, it'll go
about
down.
to say,
So you know.
Cam Newton starts again, it might be a little cheaper. What else we got on this rapid fire? You want to talk about Giannis's statement after his championship win?
Yeah, we got to talk about that a little bit.
He said, obviously, I want to get the job done. That's my stubborn side. It's easy to go somewhere and go win a championship with somebody else. It's easy. I could go to a super team and just be a part of a championship, but this is the hard way to do it. And Aaron, what do you think? What do you think of the whole MDA finals, how it worked
Yeah,
out?
I was gonna talk about that first. So first, kudos to the Bucks, and I will say I'll eat my words because I remember at the beginning of season 2, when the season was starting, I was like, the Bucks will be a good team, but they're not going to win the championship. They don't
Ooh,
have the
you did say
pieces,
that.
and Giannis can't be the guy to do that. And I ate
Yeah.
all my words. I will admit that because Giannis, he played one of the most dominant finals I've ever seen. I mean, the first 2 games they dropped to the Suns because the Suns are a good team; they're legitimate. But man, I mean, he averaged almost 40 points a game and over 13 rebounds, and I think like 4 blocks throughout the whole series. It's one of the most dominant performances I've ever seen, and it carried his team to a victory. So he did everything I said that I didn't think he could do. So first of all, kudos to him. I mean, especially once they hit the playoffs, they hit a whole other level. Still give props to the Suns. The Suns went way farther than anyone thought at the beginning of the season. I think they have a good chance of going back to the finals next year, even with the Lakers, quote unquote, revamping with a senior citizen team. I think the Suns are just a really good squad. They have a good, especially since Chris Paul signed back up. I think they could get back there.
Don't
But
you think the Suns are kind of like one of those loser franchises now? Because then they make it to the finals with Charles Barkley and lost too.
they
Like,
did, yeah. Well,
they've
no,
been around 50
everyone
years,
lost in the
they've lost.
90s if you weren't Michael.
That's
So-
true, but I mean, talk about the worst times to peak. Like,
Yeah, I know they had Barkley. Barkley was he was MVP that year, and they lost. And then this year, I mean, Booker and Chris Paul were both in the MVP conversation. And I mean, I don't know. I thought they'd win. That was another thing. I was wrong. I thought the Suns would win, and they didn't. So I was just wrong on all my takes in the NBA this year. But as far as Giannis's comments,
It's okay. It was a weird year.
I say, hey, good for him. He can talk his talk. The dude won, and he did it. So that's great. I still like seeing super teams personally. I like seeing them get together and get to see the talent assemble. So I have nothing against super teams like he does. Like he vehemently hates them. He has made that known since this started happening. I respect what he did because I think it is incredibly difficult. There's no doubt about that he carried the team on his back by himself. He was, however, and this is the one caveat I don't want it to take away from their win.
oh no, go ahead.
There were a lot of injuries in these playoffs, and they were going to get smoked by the Nets if it wasn't for Harden's injury and Kyrie's injury, because KD by himself still got a win over them, and the other two were really, really close, like in overtime.
Yeah.
And so if Kyrie and Harden were on that team, the Bucks weren't getting by them, and the Nets were going to win. So he was aided by those injuries to help him get to where he was now. But again, he played phenomenally. The Bucks played. I mean, Drew Holiday was off the charts. Middleton showed up in the finals. So I don't want to take anything away from him.
Did you get the vibe that was a response to like LeBron's tweets
Oh,
about
it was
like,
100%.
you know, this is
Oh,
what
it
we
was
told you
absolutely.
was going to happen. You know, you get us back playing too soon, and look at all the relevant stars are injured. And
He doesn't
Giannis
like
comes out
LeBron.
and says- Giannis comes out and says, "Listen, I won. and I did it
Oh,
the hard
absolutely.
way. Not my fault. You're an old man.
I
You
do
got
like
hurt.
Giannis. I love his attitude of he doesn't try sucking up to players. He's his own guy. He's like, listen, I don't need to be friends with you. I'm trying to just win. So I kind of like that about him. He's got an edge to him. 100% those comments were towards LeBron and to KDs and stuff like that who join teams because he hates that. And so he was 100% throwing shade at them.
I
But he
actually
won, so
like
he can
that.
back it up. He can back it up because he won.
I
So
like
I
that.
can't say you can't say it.
I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with you about the super teams thing, but it's neither here nor there to me. What I can't stand is I feel like if you're not part of like the in crew of the NBA, LeBron, KD,
Right.
Kyrie, I mean, whether or not they're all friends or not, but they kind of are. Like it only counts and it's only, credible if one of us win. Like if you're in the agency with LeBron, whoever his agent is, then it matters. But if you're not, then it doesn't count. And I like that Giannis came out and said, actually, you can kiss this ring. Like it
Yeah, that's
does
his
matter.
attitude. That is his attitude. He doesn't care about that stuff. He doesn't care about having friends or kissing up. Like he's like, all right, I'm gonna win and we're gonna beat you guys. And
Speaking of
so
people,
yeah.
speaking of people that don't kiss up, what'd you think of the just breaking news that Marcus
Ugh.
Smart got a contract extension?
Bro, I like before the podcast started, I was telling you guys how I was having a conversation with like two guys I was playing basketball with about Smart. It's like, yeah, he's got a lot of heart. Sure, he can play good defense, but the dude cannot shoot for his life, and they're not going to go anywhere with him like being in the rotation like that. They need to do something. They need to get someone else. They
Why did
need
the
to.
Celtics do this? I don't
I don't
understand.
know. And then not only did they just sign him to an extension, they signed him to a maximum extension. Like, all right, so I know I'm gonna. Brad Stevens is no longer the coach, and he became the general manager. So we're like, yes, Danny Ainge is gone. Like, he was like, he couldn't make any good moves. Awesome. All right, Brad, let's see what you got. I'm gonna say, so far since he's taken over, like, screw Brad Stevens as the
He's the new
GM so
Danny
far.
Ainge.
I just don't get it. Like, it wasn't there
He's so
reports of like
bad.
Marcus Smart like fighting with other team members, including like your top two guys. Like,
Yeah, they were
why
going at it in the
why
locker
would
room.
you bring back a guy that doesn't mold with the future of your team, and you bring him back to be part of the future of your team? Like, I gotta believe there's a sign and trade going on here. Like, there's gotta be something like that, right? Like, or do you
I
just
don't
bring
get
him
it,
back
man.
to
I
make him
don't get it.
happy? Like, I don't get it. Like,
Or to break
let
fans happy because fans, I don't know, they love a guy who
why
jacks up 23s a game and makes one. Like
why
fans are
why
just
would
like, "You're the
anybody?
best player in the
I
league.
feel
He's the best
like he
player."
would be a better basketball player if he just didn't shoot as much as he did.
For
If he
real.
just didn't
Like,
take as many shots, like let
coach
him
needs
do
to be like, you have 5 shots
play to your
allotted
strengths.
to you.
Yeah, play your strengths.
Yeah, we just paid you. Now sit on the bench. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Now
which is a
they
horrible look, by the way. Hey, we just gave you a max extension. Now go sit on the bench because you don't want
don't
to listen.
shoot the ball. Like it never should have been a max. Like, oh my god, that's ridiculous. The dude can't shoot. And like you're gonna give him a max extension? A max extension for a guy who's a hustle player? Look, I'm all for a hustle player, but you're giving that kind of money to a guy who can't score consistently, who repeatedly puts up dumb shots? No. Give that money to like a stud who can like you can sign in free agency. I don't know who the free agents are going to be this year. I have to look that up, but like use the money there. And not only that, but Brad Stevens too, when he first came on, he was looking at all players who like he coached previously, like Avery Bradley and it's like Kelly Olynyk. Or what? Those are the guys you're looking for? That's the crew you're trying to get on this
Wouldn't
team.
you rather them as those guys as role players over Marcus Smart if you had a couple legitimate top tier studs that you've already drafted and developed?
But they don't have. I mean, they have Tatum and Brown, but like
That's what I mean.
They need studs.
If you have
Like,
Tatum and Brown and you're calling them the future of your team, wouldn't you rather bring people in that you can control and bend to your will so that they play the roles they need to play for those two studs?
That's why he was going for those players because he's already coached them and he knows them, and they're like his.
And Al Horford's back too, right? They brought him back.
Yeah, average Al. He's not going to do anything.
Average
Al.
Yeah,
I don't know why it seems like the Boston fan base just takes the cheese, like the Red Sox
they
just brought
love
Travis
average
Shaw.
guys.
Yeah, Well, the takes the cheese on. Let's bring back a guy we kind of liked. The Red Sox just brought back Travis Shaw, who's
Oh, yeah.
hitting like a $190 or something like that, like horrible. But we screwed something up, so let's bring back a guy everybody recognizes and then pump it up. Like,
Yeah.
we'll bring back what'd you call him, Average Al?
Yeah.
Average.
Maybe
Dude,
he's
people they loved Horford when he was here. They're like, he's the best guy on the team. He's a staple. He's everything. It's like, dude averages like 14 points a game, like 7 board. Like he's average. Like, why don't? But people were like, he's the key to the team. I'm like, no, no, he's not.
Oh, that's such a perfect nickname, Average Al.
I got
brilliant.
that from what was that? The MM Ordway, Merloni, and Fourier. Like that's what they got ripped for calling him Average Al. Fans would
That-
call in and be like, okay, he's not average, he's the key to the team. And they're like, dude, look at his numbers. He's
You mean
just meh.
WEI made controversy for actually having a sports take? That's
They did.
actually that's
They
newsworthy.
did. Shots fired.
They're the mellow of mellow. Like, I'm sorry, there's 2 Boston sports stations. I like one more than the other. That's just my
Yeah.
bias. But like, I listened to WEI a lot as a kid, and I remember thinking, well, they don't say anything bad. And then I realized that they're owned by the Red Sox. Why would they say anything bad about the team?
True.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, never mind. I won't make. Nope. Let's go. Let's go to the.
Letter E.
Yeah, but no, yeah, I don't know. They're not going to go anywhere this year. They might make the playoffs.
You're 100% right. This is the wrong time for a team to try a team that doesn't already have like 3 superstars to try and make a run.
Like if your key
Just
draft
bad
decisions were to
timing.
sign Marcus Smart to a max extension, you've already lost.
Yeah.
You threw in the towel. Like that's how I see it.
First round, peace. They'll be in the play-in.
Speaking of throwing in the towel, do you think that the Cowboys have already thrown in the towel?
No.
Well, it depends on that shoulder. that's for sure.
How much are they paying him to not play in the preseason, and then he won't be necessarily completely ready to go for the regular season because he's nursing a sore shoulder?
I gotta look that up. How he heard it? Was it from throwing?
I don't know, but isn't he making like something ridiculous, like $78 million this year? Stop! No, you can't say those jokes.
He has a huge contract with the Cowboys.
Holy
It's
crap!
big,
Yeah,
big.
he's making 75 million this year.
Oh my goodness!
I don't want Dak to be injured, but I will say that when I saw the first report came out, I chuckled to myself. Not because I want Dak to be injured. Like the boy got paid. I think he's got a lot of talent. I think he could bring the Cowboys back like into actual relevancy, not like Cowboys fans living in yesteryear relevancy. Like I would, and as a guy who doesn't like the Cowboys, I want them to be good so that I can hate on them. Like there's a kind of a thing there. Like I hope you get that. But like, you haven't even played your first preseason game, and your star quarterback, who you're paying $75 million this year, is going to get an MRI on his shoulder.
And that's not even talking about his ankle. We don't even know how his ankle is either.
That's a good point.
So he might still not even be good ankle wise.
And what's their O line like this year? We got to get Jacob in here to break down the O line again for us. But like their O line is
by person. He like knows where they grew up, like where they went to high school.
Their combine stats.
Yeah, their high school combine. It's like, what high school combine? What?
All that to follow a team that's not going to make it to the playoffs.
I don't know. Some people in our chat say they're going to win 11 games, though.
A healthy Dak, probably.
A healthy team, they could be 11-6. Did I do it right this time? I almost said 11-5, and I said nope. I'm going to get
11-6 all year.
A healthy Dak and CD Lamb not going down at all, and Zeke Elliott not being a scrub this year. They're a great 11-6 team.
So basically, they need a good O line.
Yeah.
For Dak not to get injured and for Zeke to have a good, and that's not discrediting Zeke. That's just, like in order for you to have a good running back, you have to have a good line. Like that's a fact.
You can discredit Zeke. He's been booty cheeks the past few years.
Really, yeah, he really has been. I don't know.
I don't know what happened either.
He was so dominant. He was like the guy he was like, you picked the Cowboys in Madden to play with Zeke.
There are very few, in my opinion, running backs that year after year are consistently like elite.
You're easy to figure out.
They're usually good for like a 2 to 3 year span, and then unless they reinvent themselves, they're just another guy.
Yep.
Well,
So,
yeah,
like,
so much of a toll is taken on you
it's
running.
yeah, it's how a running back has to play. I
That's
think
why.
Marshawn Lynch was the last guy I really thought of as like a guy that was consistently good for a long time.
Oh,
Well, Adrian Peterson had a
Okay,
really
oh
long
yeah.
career too.
Yeah.
He's
until
a
he
he's
started,
a
until he
completely
started
forgot
beating
about
his
him.
kid.
unicorn. Yeah. Well, he's really old now.
Yeah.
But I mean, he had a stretch of like 10 years where he was the best running back in the league.
I should have
Like,
thought
it
it.
was
Ooh,
incredible.
Alvin Kamara too. I think he's going to be one of those that ends up
That's
being
because he doesn't run as much.
good for
He's
so
used as a
long.
receiver most of the time.
But this is
That's
my
why.
point: is that each team
but
wants.
last year, what did he rush 6 touchdowns in a game or 5?
Yeah. He still had like way less rushing yards than
Oh, that's
receiving
that's a good
yards,
point. Yeah.
This is my point, though. We have what 32 teams, and we named 3
Yeah,
running backs over the
they're not
past
as
couple years.
important as like the early mid 2000s.
But even
just not.
still, I
Well,
think you
hold
have
on.
to
I
have
think
a
we're
good
getting ahead
run
of
game.
ourselves because we could name like a lot of running backs right now in the league that are like dominant. Right, but I get to the beginning of the point of they're probably not going to be anything in a few years. Yeah, you're right. Like Derrick Henry, that big dude is bound to fall and hurt himself at some point, and just
He's built like a tight end, though. He could be one of those guys that lasts a while.
yeah.
But they're giving him like 30,
The bigger
35
they are, the
carries a
harder they
game.
fall, though.
Yo,
That adds up.
did you guys see the clips of Tim Tebow, speaking of tight ends, making
Oh.
these horrible
Yo,
blocks?
yeah, I know, but he's huge though. You see
He
how
went into
big
Hulk
that
mode.
dude is? But yeah,
he's huge.
Somebody made him
he's
angry.
massive, bro. I saw how big he was in that. I was like, holy crap, he's freaking jacked.
Aaron's
Yeah,
over there like, see, that's what happens when you let him juice.
yeah, like, oh, what'd you do for training? To get ready, so football ready so fast, and he's like trying to hide the needles as he's having the interview. Like,
No, those are not
Yeah,
track marks on my butt.
I got a new tattoo right here. That's why I have to have it covered up.
No, they put them in their butt.
yeah, that's where you inject right in
Yeah,
the glute,
That's
man.
so weird to me. I don't know
Tim
if I
Tebow's
could.
probably pretty safe on anybody finding that too, being the good Christian man that he is.
No one's gonna test Tebow. But yeah, they lost. Did they lose that preseason game? They did.
I don't know. I've
I
only
don't know.
watched.
Trevor
Yeah, they
Lawrence
lost
got
their-
sacked like 3 times though in his
he fumbled too.
first drive. Yeah, and he fumbled.
What do you guys think so far as some of the things that have happened over the off season as far as the NFL goes? Like, so they had that. Really, the big thing I wanted to mention was the Aaron Rodgers going to the mic and basically just like, yeah, I'm going to play for them,
Oh.
but they all suck and I
Yeah.
don't like them.
Yeah.
And
That really
they
was
should
what he
just
did.
basically let me be the GM because I'm Aaron Rodgers. So like, I should be the GM. I should be the one picking the talent because I'm the one playing. Nobody else in the league does that, but I should do that because I'm Aaron Rodgers.
Dude, it was so emasculating for the Green Bay franchise. Because the thing is, like, what are they gonna do? They're like, okay, that was Aaron, but we really need him, so we're just gonna put up with this.
I know,
It's
that's
like
so
they're
funny.
just,
Anybody else, they would have been benched.
but you can't like what
You
you're not
can't
gonna
bench Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, you can't do that. It's just not going to work out good for you.
Talk about a guy that every time I hear about him, I like him less and less. Like he's
Yeah,
injured.
the past couple of years has been rough for his persona.
Yeah, his it's been tainted. I think really great talent, injured a lot, doesn't make it past the NFC
A
Championship.
diva.
And now a diva, and now he's going to the mic and saying, like they should have basically let me be the GM. Like, I care about this team so deeply, guys. Like
Who I work for is idiots. It's like,
deeply, but they're all stupid, and they should just let me be in charge.
yeah, it's a bad look, man.
It's a terrible look. Talk about a joke of an organization.
Yeah, the organization is kind of a joke too.
If they had balls, they would be like, all right, bro, you're gone. I get like it's tough because it's Aaron Rodgers, but like at some point you have to be like, okay,
with that kid too, though.
Maybe they're waiting to see how he is.
Yeah, I think they wanted like one more year.
This is something
with
I
him.
wanted to ask you guys too. This came up in my thoughts. So with this whole Aaron Rodgers thing happening, the height of it was during the NFL draft. And who did the Broncos pass up on?
I don't know who.
I don't know.
They traded their pick to, I thought it was Chicago. Whoever it was, I should have researched this before, but it just popped into my head. the Broncos like either traded their pick or passed up on a quarterback, and drafted like a lineman or something like that in the first round. And they passed up on a really good quarterback, and I don't know which one it was.
Justin Fields. He went to Chicago.
It might have been Justin Fields.
He balled out in his preseason debut.
Yeah,
he did really well.
And so a lot of the fans were like, I heard, I read a lot of Twitter posts and stuff of people saying, did the Broncos really think that they were going to get Aaron Rodgers, so they passed up on a quarterback, and then he ends up just going to Green Bay again.
What if they get Aaron Rodgers next year, though?
Well, will they? I don't know. Will he be worth it at that point? He's old. He's getting old.
So was Peyton Manning and John Elway when they won. So.
Yeah, but you could have invested in a really young, very talented quarterback. And now I don't know if this is true or not, but I just thought it was interesting that they could have passed up on a really great young quarterback with the thought that they were going to get Aaron Rodgers, or the hope they were going to get Aaron Rodgers. And then Aaron Rodgers doesn't sign with them and goes back to the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, but he's only going to be there another year, and then it's
he's piecing after that.
And the Broncos are, I think, pretty well poised to make a serious offer.
I don't know.
What other teams?
My analytical, maybe I'm not an analytical person, so I don't know I said that, but in my thinking, it just makes more sense to me to pick up a young, good quarterback than to go after the old guy that might get you one more ring before he retires. Might.
Yeah, but if their mindset is one more ring is worth it, and we'll rebuild after that, or we've been rebuilding and he's going to get us a ring, and then we're going to, in a perfect world, have already
basically what Tampa did.
Guy. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's what they did.
Oh gosh, good point.
He's really old, but we can get a ring this year. And it worked out,
And maybe next year.
Right, yeah.
And
we
maybe the year after that.
Let's just bring everybody back and try that a second time.
I mean, that's what the Patriots did.
Yeah.
Except they drafted Mac Jones too. What did you?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Then I was going to lead into what you just said.
Did
either one of you watch this preseason game or watch highlights of it? Did you see?
Well, I couldn't watch the game, as you guys know, but I watched highlights of it afterwards.
Yeah, I watched every offensive drive that I could because I was flipping back and forth between that and the Field of Dreams.
For his debut, that was a solid debut. Like, I mean, he didn't look amazing, but he didn't. I mean, he looked like what you expect from a rookie, but he made good decisions, seemed to have decent accuracy, made obviously some goof ups as you'd expect from a rookie in the first game, but overall it was like, all right, like, I can do all that.
Watching it live when Cam Newton came out and Mac Jones stepped in, the crowd roared. I was thinking, if you're Cam Newton, how does that make you feel?
Yeah. Oh, did you see his cryptic Instagram post about loyalty?
Oh, loyalty, yeah, yep.
He does. Yeah, they were never loyal to him anyways.
I'm loyal to the Patriots, but the Patriots aren't loyal to me. Oh.
Well, they were never loyal to you. Like, the fans have been calling for your head since your first loss.
As a diehard fan, I was all in on Cam Newton.
I was too.
I remember talking about after the Seattle loss, like, boy, we were right there. Like, I was ready. I was ready to buy the Cam Newton jersey and be like, this is going to be our future. I can go with it. And then I just realized he can't play the position anymore. And it's not personal against him. It's not anything about that. It's just you can't play the position. So I can't root for you as the starter when I look at the kid that we drafted.
I gave him the benefit of the doubt for way too long.
Yeah, you really did.
I held
into this offseason, you're still like, what if this year? What if?
Every loss, you're like, you're still clinging, but I could tell you were like, dude, Cam, you're making me look bad, man. Come on.
You know, and
I'm trying to work with you.
Maybe I'm not giving him now, like in this moment, I'm not giving him the benefit of the doubt. Like maybe he'll be that quarterback that he needs to be this year, but I'm still willing to give him the benefit of the doubt for this coming season that he could be pretty okay. He could be average.
It's pretty obvious though that his days are numbered. Like,
yes.
I don't know. I think there's been a lot of talk and a lot of controversy over whether or not Mac Jones is really going to be the next thing. Because when you look at just his build, he's not the tallest quarterback.
No.
He's not the fastest quarterback.
He's not in shape.
He's not the most in shape quarterback, and he's not one of these mobile quarterbacks. So, like, do we care? do you care that your quarterback might not be a mobile quarterback that can roll out of the pocket and
Well, I mean,
make
Brady
something up
was-
on the
I
fly?
haven't cared the past 22 years. Why did I start caring now?
Yeah, I mean, Brady is the epitome of immobile.
Yeah.
I mean, great in the pocket though. Like the dude knew how to get out of the way.
But
like,
is
he just had
Brady
that
really
thick skin.
is Brady really like the litmus? I mean, he is because he's the greatest, but on average, can you put Brady on like, well, Brady did, so anybody could do it. Well, Brady's Brady.
I mean, Manning wasn't mobile, but again, he's on that like almost the same level too.
I almost just made a Jesus joke about that, and I had to stop.
Okay, good.
It wasn't a
Tyler.
Jesus joke; it was actually a theology joke, and then I said, no, I can't do that.
Oh, okay. Anyways, I don't care about any of those things. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't
It's
know.
not going
I've
to bother
seen
me.
there's quarterbacks that can do it. Like if they're smart, if they have a really good IQ and they're accurate, I don't know, I think you can make up for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think unless his name is Russell Wilson or Pat Mahomes, stand in the pocket, please.
Yeah.
Everybody else that rolls out
Right.
eventually gets hurt.
Right.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, was hurt. Like, and Pat Mahomes got hurt. Like Russell Wilson's really been the only guy that doesn't, stay in the pocket that I don't remember him really getting hurt.
Well,
Right.
didn't Pat
Patrick
Mahomes get
Mahomes
hurt
got
on like
hurt.
a QB sneak?
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes got hurt not doing what he does all the time, but doing something that he never does,
Oh,
which is a
yeah,
QB sneak on the goal line.
Yeah,
You're
it was
right.
a QB sneak and he got hurt, and it was like, oh,
You're right.
that's weird.
Yeah, I don't really care if Mac Jones is the fastest or the tallest or the most in shape. Although I think probably over the course of an NFL career, his shape will change. But
Yeah,
hopefully.
it happened
truthfully,
with
like
Brady,
Big Ben has never been in shape or in great shape, and
but he's also like 6'5"
Yeah.
and just a
he's
massive human being.
he's a
big boy.
man. He's a big boy. What I liked about the preseason game is everything that I care about, which is he stands in the pocket and makes quick decisions.
He's
That's
fast.
what I want.
He's super quick. He doesn't think about it. He just, go
you
with
know
the
what?
play and throw it.
And he was hitting, as Eric says, those money passes, the short, quick, boom,
Intermediate,
like move
yep.
the feet, right? Like the money ones. Like don't go for the deep ball all the time. What's there? Can you hit those? Can you keep
Guys.
the chains moving?
Guys, hold on. We're getting way ahead of ourselves here in Mac Jones.
I'm not saying he's the savior of New England.
He's going to be average at best, so just stop.
And the quarterback and the Patriot system, Bill Belichick really believes that if you're average at best, you can win a Super Bowl. Do you believe that?
Is that like shade at Tom Brady?
Oh, it absolutely is. There are
yeah, well, we
records
had an
saying
average guy for 20 years. So,
they could have won with like an average person a few of those years, which they might have
Probably.
like a top 5 defense this year if everybody comes back, if they figure
That's
out the
true. If
Stephon
everyone can
Gilmore
come
thing.
back, yeah.
I think they probably have a pretty good O-line. They have a couple really good running backs. I think their wide
Hightower's
receiver
back,
core.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think their wide receiver core is a little questionable, but if they have a guy that can stand in the pocket and make quick decisions, and their O-line gives them time and their defense gives them a chance, I don't know. I don't think they can win a Super Bowl.
Well, also
I think
we have
they can maybe make the playoffs.
what I think we have going for us this year too is the running back game.
Yeah, the rookie.
What I saw from the running backs in that preseason game, hoo-wee, I'll tell you what. Who's that little dude? Something
The
Taylor.
rookie, or
Yeah, no, something Taylor. He's like 5'6".
Yep, I know who you're talking about.
forget
He
his
looks good.
first name's a mouthful.
I don't know. I forget. It's not Jonathan Taylor because he's on the Colts. It's whatever it is. I liked his quick little feet. And then the other guy, the rookie, who had that 92-yard run.
Ramondre Stevenson.
That's the new guy with the 92-yard touchdown run.
Oh wait, no, I can't tell. Hold on, I'm trying.
Whoever
to
did that, he earned himself a spot on the team.
Oh,
just 'cause
yeah.
Yeah, no, he's 100. He's 100%.
He had 2 touchdowns in the game. So the running back game, that's great because that's not something we've heavily relied on in the Patriot system because it was usually a receiving back instead of a running back.
Corey Dillon.
Who's that?
They added him in the team in 2004, and it became.
That's so long ago, dude. Come on. I'm 28. I don't remember what I had for lunch yesterday.
I'm 28. I remember Corey Dillon.
Okay, well, you also watch NASCAR, so
I don't understand how that discredits me. Like,
it doesn't. It doesn't. I was just
wait a
joking.
minute. I know more about football,
Eric,
so that
it's not an Under.500 podcast if I don't make fun of you for watching NASCAR. Anyways, The don't make faces at me. The running back game I think it's going to be really interesting for the Patriots this year. It's going to be a change through the past few years. I'll say that.
Well, hopefully,
Aaron's still looking stuff up. What are you looking up?
I can see the
the flickers.
frantically.
I'm trying to figure out. Is it Jacob Johnson? Is that the little guy you were talking about?
Just look up a roster for the Patriots. They have it on
that's
their
what
website.
That's what I did, man. I'm trying to just find a chart instead of getting
We know you live under a rock, but just patriots.com and then go from there.
JJ Taylor.
www.
Do you want to know what I just Googled? This is the easiest. Short Patriots running back. JJ Taylor is the first thing that popped
up. Meanwhile, Aaron's over there like this confounded mouse. I like the ones better that has a little tail on it.
One
finger typing.
Guys, how do you internet? I don't get it.
Season 3 is off to a good start, but we cannot end this without talking about some baseball.
Tyler, I was saving the best for last, buddy. What do you think? Is baseball relevant this year?
I'll say exactly what John Boy Media said. Baseball is alive as it has ever been.
I agree.
And I agree 100%. Baseball is popping off this year. And you know what? I will give all thanks and all the glory and honor
Here we go.
to Shohei Ohtani.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Theo Epstein.
Shohei Ohtani. That guy has gotten people interested in baseball again.
He's really cool. I think there's been more than that, though.
I agree. But the All-Star, or not the Home Run Derby, so many people watch the Home Run Derby just to see Shohei Ohtani play.
Yo, I don't think I could bring myself to buying his jersey if it's an Angels jersey, but I looked up, you can buy his, like, when he played in the Japanese league. And they were really cool jerseys. They're on Amazon. I was halfway considering getting one of those for my jersey collection.
That'd be sick.
It would be. He's really cool though, and but I don't think that's the only thing. I thought the spider tack thing, which is definitely a on the back end kind of thing. I thought that started the baseball relevancy. Like now we got controversy, and pitchers actually have to learn how to pitch again. Yeah. And
it's hilarious. Learn to do your job.
And then the trade deadline and all the moves and all the controversy around it, and clearly the Nationals and the Cubs were selling off and trying to do the rebuild. So you had some huge names: Max Scherzer, Anthony Rizzo going to the Yankees, which is the most Yankees thing ever, isn't it? There was a couple other huge moves too, but like it was active, right? Like the trade deadline and Tyler, the Red Sox didn't do anything.
Talk about somebody that fell asleep during the trade deadline.
Yeah.
They napped that entire time. They were like, and they woke up to their alarm 1 minute.
Yeah, they woke up the next day
before midnight.
Let's kill this trade.
No, they said 1 minute before midnight. They were like, trade deadline. Cheap. Okay, let's go with this injured guy.
I think actually, rather than them forgetting to set their alarm, they purposely. You ever gone on vacation and you decided to turn off your alarms? Yeah. That's what I think they did. I think they said, this team isn't worth investing in. And Chaim Bloom basically said that. He's like, they're yammering on about that stupid tax, and if they pay X amount, if they go X amount over the salary cap, then they have to pay X amount in fines or whatever. It's like 40%, or they lose like a pick, or they lose a spot. It's all irrelevant. Like, you had a team that could actually win something. They were 20 games over 500 and the best team in the AL at the trade deadline.
At one point, they were like 5 games in first place. Now they're 3 games back.
And they were gritty, and they I think 30 of their wins were comeback wins or something crazy like that. Like, they were willing to fight. And I agree, 30 of their comeback wins probably weren't sustainable, and maybe from a managerial leadership perspective, they were saying, their pitching isn't going to hold up and they can't come back from every win. But you didn't have to take the air completely out of their sails and say, man, we're just going to get this injured guy. And they brought back Travis Shaw because they need someone to play first base, because they brought in, who do they bring in? This injured guy? What's his name? Schwarber? Is it Schwarber?
Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah, who's injured and come to find out can't play first base. So they brought this guy in because they need a first baseman. And then the guy they brought in can't play first base. So now he's DHing. Which means that JD Drew has to play in the outfield, which I don't think they want him to do. I'm sorry, JD Martinez has to play in the outfield, which they don't want him to do every day.
He needs to DH.
He needs
Sounds
to
like they have
DH.
Brad
He's too
Stevens
old.
working as a GM.
He's too old
there.
to be out in left field
Seriously,
and playing
Aaron
the wall.
is
Oh,
seriously like no. Their owner is interested in his European soccer league and clearly isn't as invested in his team as he needs to be. So he put some Yale graduate in charge that is used to a low market team in the Rays, and he's trying to lead the Red Sox. And he better realize, like, you're in Boston. This is a sports town, and if
he's
you
gonna get
make the
torn
Red
to
Sox
shreds.
relevant and then you make them irrelevant on purpose, the fans can smell that really quick,
yeah.
and they'll eat you alive as well as the media. Like, what horrible decision making. You had a team that was fun and interesting to watch, and you basically told them, yeah, we're not going to invest in you. And they quit. They quit, Tyler. They quit.
Yeah, they went like 2-9.
What's the record now? What's their standing?
65 and 50 something. They're second place, 3 games back. They're a wild card team to the T. Nothing past that. Because now you play
They had high hopes.
Now you play a wild card game. You don't just play
Playing
the other
game,
team.
yeah.
So they're probably going to lose that because it'll be against somebody that's better, like the White Sox or the Guardians. But
dang,
yeah, so they failed the team big time, and the team is like, I think they're just like, okay, well, if you're not going to invest in us, we're not going to invest in your brand, and you're not getting a ring.
Elsewhere in the league, do you still think the Yankees are going to fire Aaron Boone after this season?
Yeah, I think they should. I don't know if
You
they
think
will.
he's really the one to? Do you blame him?
Yeah, big time. Because if they don't make the playoffs still, just look at the guys that are on the team. And yeah. And if you can't make the playoffs with that roster, it's your manager's fault. Because your GM did enough to get you a fantastic team.
Not to mention that you are the loser in the highest rated game in 16 years.
Oh, can we talk about how amazing the Field of Dreams was?
It was phenomenal. I watched the last 3 innings. It was phenomenal.
Talk about just like, did you see the whole opening ceremony that they did?
I went back and watched it. Yeah, I was watching the Patriots.
Kevin Costner walking out of the corn and then just doing the slow walk, looking back at the corn, and then just like with the movie music going, and then he like stops and looks back at the corn, and the teams walk out of the corn. Oh, it was amazing. It was incredible. I loved it. I loved every second of that.
It's just a cool thing. Like, Aaron, I know you're not a big baseball guy, but it's a cool thing that the actual league said, we're going to put 2 teams that have no business being in Iowa, because who lives in Iowa? Like, I forgot that even existed. It's only relevant during presidential elections. But, let's actually build a stadium out here, and we'll make it national television. And the corn in the background and the home runs into the corn, like it was just cool.
Yeah.
Like I'll be honest, I haven't ever watched Field of Dreams. I need to go back and watch.
I've never seen it.
Sports movie I haven't seen.
It's good.
But just the aesthetics, like just playing like the hockey games that are outside. Like I think the aesthetics of those things where they just do different things to make it look different and make it look cool, and the aesthetics of it are just it's fun to watch.
I agree. It's just switching.
Plus, did that game count?
Yeah, it counted.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
The White Sox walked it off.
Tim Anderson had a 2-run shot into the corn.
He knew it too. He hit that anyway.
Too.
Yeah. It was
that must have been fun for the players too.
Oh yeah, I bet they loved it.
To play in that. Like that must have been a ton of fun for them.
Yeah.
If I were the Yankees, I would want to forget
baseball.
about it.
Yeah, they're the first team to ever lose a game in Iowa.
I would want to forget about that. 100%. I watched Aaron Boone Aaron Judge walk off the field, and his look said, "I never want to think about this ever again."
Wow. Yeah. You'll forever be known as the team that lost to the Field of Dreams.
Yep. 100%. And it was
now, if you're a White Sox player, I would want to remember that for all my days, for sure.
I wonder if they're gonna do this every year. Who knows? Like make it an annual thing.
Yeah, they should.
There are some weird things like that.
No, they were gonna do it last year, but COVID stopped it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They planned on doing it last year.
Baseball still does weird things like that.
We're running low on time. Get to that last one there, Eric.
What's the last one?
No, the last one on there. I want to talk about this.
Oh, post All-Star break, who's winning the Fall Classic?
Well, who do you think? Who do you got?
Who do I have?
Who do you got?
I don't really know who's good on the National League side.
That's fine. Sure, give me your AL team. We're gonna have the same exact answer.
Houston.
Yeah, 100%. 100% Houston's winning the pennant this year. And I'll get my tinfoil hat on really quick. I think the World Series this year is going to be Houston versus the Dodgers. The Dodgers have what it takes. The only team that's going to stop the Dodgers and have the chance to stop the Dodgers is San Francisco or so two teams, San Francisco or San Diego.
I forgot about the Dodgers. I should have picked the Dodgers. I should have known better.
Yeah. But that is my like personal, that's my favorite. It would be the Dodgers versus the Houston Astros.
Talk about the rematch of the century.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a whole controversy from 2017 when they or whatever. Yeah, it was 2017. They lost in a big cheating scandal, and now the Astros aren't cheating supposedly. Who knows if they are? And it's the Dodgers
I were
get
the MLB,
their shot at redemption. You know, like they need to make that happen.
Yeah, I agree. If I was the MLB, I would do what the NBA does and get a fix on, and then tell the players, "You guys are now in a rematch game. We're going to turn the other way. Have at it. They need the ratings. Have at it.
Oh yeah.
You want to have a brawl? Have a brawl.
Yeah, because you know
We'll
it would
fine
happen.
you. We won't suspend anybody. We'll just fine you.
Yeah,
100%.
No, I think that would be amazing. Now, realistically, so that's my favorite. Realistically, I still think that the Astros are the team in the American League that are probably going to beat. They have a great team. They're really, really good this year. The only other team that I think that could come up and beat them somehow is the Rays. The Rays are great again. And then the National League, the Giants are so hot. They coasted through the summer, which is usually the downtime for baseball players. Right after the All-Star break, you get into the really hot summer days and summer muggy nights, and the team just slows down. And the San Francisco Giants just right through it. They've done fantastic through August and July.
Interesting.
They were the first team to 60 wins, I think. And so they've just been amazing. And so I think they're realistically, I think they're the team in the National League, but I'd love to see the Dodgers versus the Houston Astros. That'd be my favorite.
I know we're getting late because Aaron's getting very antsy listening to all this baseball.
It's riveting. I swear.
You're so mean. I don't understand. There is nothing like playoff hockey, playoff baseball.
I have nothing against like, hey, you guys love it. It's a sport, so that's amazing. I just can't get into it personally. I'm sorry.
What if they started?
I don't hate it.
What if they started letting them juice? And you got guys like Barry
let
Bonds
them
back.
Juice. I'd at least like look up like stuff on Google and like
you
read
could do
news
that now
articles
because it's
about
happening.
I am telling you,
get baited.
There is nothing more nostalgic to me than fishing with the Red Sox on in the background. That is just like,
oh yeah,
that is a good night. Campfire, lines in the water, Red Sox on the radio.
I didn't know what you meant by lines for a second. It's like campfire, lines
in the water, fishing.
Going on a sleigh ride in the middle of summer.
Oh my gosh. Well, Aaron, on that note, let's wrap this bad Larry up.
Who put the powdered donuts? It's like... Anyways, just like in the previous 2 seasons, you guys can find us wherever you find podcasts. You can find us on Apple, Spotify. You can also find us on YouTube for our recorded channels. Please like and subscribe. Also give us reviews, because reviews will also help getting our exposure up. So leave good reviews, please. Not bad reviews. You can keep those to yourself. Also, you can follow our social media. We are on Instagram and we are on Facebook. Just look us up at Under.500 Podcast for our weekly content and updates on episodes. And feel free to send us any DMs with questions or topics that you would like us to talk about, and it just might make it onto the show. All right. Well, season 3, guys, off to a good start. It's good to be back. I missed you guys.
Yeah. This has been fun. We'll see you next time, guys.
All right. Peace.